We're going to go into our speed round now, presented by Lowe's. And guys, we're going to do bad game or bad sign. You decide. The Commanders lose 44-22 to the Cowboys, and Jayden hurts his hamstring. We have to start with you, Matthew.
Yeah, it's a bad sign. It's a bad sign. It was second time this year Jayden Daniels was hurt. We can't play defense. Our secondary's a mess. Listen, Dak Prescott is playing unbelievable. They got CeeDee Lamb back. Cowboys offense is really rolling, but they got their asses kicked here. Now, look, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, they're banged up, but I think it's a bad sign. This is a game they should have been more competitive in. They just weren't.
I think it was a bad game. Look, they don't win in Dallas. We've talked about Dak Prescott's incredible record against division rivals at home, against the Commanders at home. They're 3-4. They're still in position to settle things down. Hopefully they won't lose Jayden Daniels for long. He's going to have an MRI on Monday. He wanted to get back in the game. Dan Quinn said that after the game. And my understanding is the initial impression is it's not serious, but we'll see. They need him on the field, but I think they'll stabilize. I just think it's one game. It's one game. You flush it and you move on.
I think it was a bad game, but I think that Daniels' injury is a bad sign. This is I think the second or third time we've seen hamstring, and then people saying but it's not. I don't know how many hamstrings you just come back and especially a guy like him. So I think him being injured, when you add some of those other pieces also being injured, I think that's the bad sign.
Yeah, I echo that. The three receivers being out, it was going to be a hard day for them, excuse me, down there. But the injury to him and the fact that it's a hamstring is real concerning.
All right, the Chargers lose 3 out of 4 games after starting 3-0.
I think it's a bad sign. I'm sorry, not to be too negative, but again, the 3 in a row. They lost the Commanders 2 weeks ago. They keep losing these games, and the Colts dominated them, right? If there's a team that's going to challenge the Chiefs in the AFC right now, I think it's the Colts. They're playing unbelievable. They should be undefeated. If A.D. Mitchell doesn't drop a ball, just before he crosses the goal line, they're undefeated, likely. So, anyway, I just think this is a bad sign. The Chargers' defense is not what it needs to be.
Bad sign. They've lost 3 out of 4, and they should have lost to the Dolphins last week. That game was over. Yeah, they pulled it off, but it just feels like they're falling apart. The injuries, like they always seem to do with the Chargers, it's always something, and it just feels like it's slowly falling apart for the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bad sign. I think it's a bad sign because of what we see elsewhere. Denver picks up another win that they probably shouldn't have. Kansas City looks better. So it's not the end of the season yet, but you don't want to fall too far behind in your division.
Yeah, I think it's a bad game. It's a bad stretch, obviously. Injuries matter in the NFL. There are very few teams that can overcome losing cornerstone players. And the cornerstone player they're losing is Joe Alt. And it's important you say, okay, it's one lineman. They've built their team on being strong on the offense and defensive lines, being able to run the ball, complementary off of that, play action, all of that. And they're just not the same. Herbert's running for his life. And it's a little bit of an excuse. But I think, like with Rashee Rice, when you get this guy back, that can give everybody else a whole lot of confidence. It is the middle of October, right? There's a lot of football to be played. And I think there's too much good stuff going out there with the Chargers. I love the coach. I love the quarterback. They get healthy. They're going to be in it at the end.
Remember, they also lost Rashawn Slater at the beginning of the year. Omarion Hampton, their star running back, he's on IR. So, yeah, to your credit, they're definitely banged up.
It makes a difference.
What about the Jags getting blown out by the Rams in London?
I think this is a bad game. Brian Thomas got hurt. London games are always weird, and I know the Jaguars play a lot of them there, so in theory, but it's Liam Cohen's first game. Look, the Rams are playing unbelievably well, and so I think this is a bad game. I think if the Jaguars in a different division, I might feel a little bit different, but I think it's just a bad game. I'm still in on the Jaguars.
Bad sign for me. Look, they beat the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago on that Monday night. We're thinking, hey, the narratives are changing. The Jaguars are different. Trevor Lawrence is different. And then they lose to the Seahawks at home, and they lose badly to the Rams, who I think showed up like a half hour before kickoff in London. Right. So I just think that whatever they got that Monday night is gone now, and there go the Colts farther and farther away from them.
Yeah, I just think they're going to have a chance to be in. I think it's a bad game. They're going to compete with the Colts. I think the Colts are a better team, but I never saw the Jags as a team that was going to be contending. Really good game, beating the Chiefs. But I think for them, they still have things to build on. It's not like the season's over. I'm not going to panic right now for the Jags.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the other part of this game was the fact that Liam's going against Sean McVay. You know, he's coming from that place. They're real familiar with the things that he's doing there. And I think they probably know some of the things that make it hard on that offense. So the fact that they're in London, you know, all of that stuff, you know, plays into this thing. But I also think the opponent matters too. Rams are hot. Rams know what you're doing. You know, they just need to, as Florio says, flush it and move on.
Last but not least, the Jets fall to 0-7, and we saw Tyrod Taylor coming in for Justin Fields.
Shout out the Jets always making it in the season.
It is interesting,
JK,
right?
never always get the Jets in. They be 0-16, and Week 18 he will get them in.
We haven't told you already. Our
JK.
researcher, James Kaminsky, is a Jets fan for life.
Jets fan. Lifelong.
Just deciding whether or not he's going to pass it on to his kids.
He's
We're trying to figure
graciously
it out.
decided his son's not going to have to inherit
endure.
that. I think it's both. I mean, this was a bad game. They had a chance at winning this thing, but it's also a bad sign because I feel like every week it's a bad game, right? I mean, they're 0-7. They benched their starting quarterback, Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor comes in, and you sort of go, oh, now I get why they were starting Justin Fields. Taylor didn't look good either. I mean, it's a bad sign. It's unfortunate, but just nothing's working for the Jets these days. There's not one thing and Garrett Wilson was out. There's not one thing you can point to and say, like, well, that's a positive.
Nothing ever works for the Jets. It's bad sign. What's the line from the Sopranos theme song, Born Under a Bad Sign? That's what they were. That's what they are. I still can't believe they won Super Bowl III. It becomes harder and harder to believe with each passing year. That's the one time they won a Super Bowl. How? That's the only time they've been to it. How?
I know. Wow.
Joe Namath didn't walk through that door.
0-7. Like, I mean, is there a good sign to 0-7 anywhere out there?
No.
I mean, this is a bad sign. Let's not give it too much.
Agree.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.